I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to share with you a deeper motivating factor that is responsible for the radical Islamist terrorism in Nigeria. It dates back to 1299 AD. Usman established the Ottoman Empire that lasted from 1299 AD to 1922. It started from a province in Turkey, Anatolia, and it gradually gained momentum and lasted for 600 years. Do you know what 600 years is? 600 years. And it spread from North Africa to Iraq, to present-day Turkey, went as far as Sofia, Belgrade, and it was when they got to Vienna in Austria, the siege of the Ottoman Empire against the nation of Austria, Vienna. They resisted them, and the Polish army came with reinforcement, and the Ottoman Empire, the Ottoman army, fled in disarray. They later made a mistake by supporting the Germans in the First World War and supported the other forces in the First World War. And the defeat of those forces by the Allied forces led to the partitioning of the Ottoman Empire. And that partitioning is responsible for some of the crises we still have, like the Turks, who were supposed to be a nation of their own, were partitioned into Syria, partitioned into Turkey, partitioned into Iran, partitioned to several countries. And since then, there has been agitation. So the Ottoman Empire was dominated by Islam, but they allowed Jews and other religious groups to have their own lifestyle within. But the Ottomans were very, very brutal. And I will do a video on the Janissaries and how they ended. Christian young men who were captured and converted to Islam, they became the most ferocious, terrible, wicked fighting force of the Ottoman Empire, but they were eventually eliminated by the same empire. That's why it's not good to support evil. November 1st, 1922, the Ottoman Empire was finally dissolved by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. And in 1923, he established the state of Turkey, modern Turkey. What am I saying? There is a delusion in the minds of these radical Islamic terrorists about establishing an Islamic caliphate governed by Sharia. That's the problem in Afghanistan with the Taliban. That's the problem in Iraq, al-Baghdadi. That's the problem in Mali, in the Sahel, in the Levant. That's the problem in Congo, in Mozambique, wherever they are. You have this, and that's why you see in the UK, people who left their places of strict Sharia, they want to come to the United Kingdom to dominate another man's country. And that's why you see they are starting by contesting as mayors. New York just fell. London has fallen. I don't know whether Manchester, Glasgow, and several other cities have Islamic leadership. That's why some countries like Sweden and the rest that have known what happened in the time past about radical Islamic groups have stepped their feet down. I am not against Islam. There are Muslims who don't believe in that radicalism. There are Muslims who believe in the modern society, in secular societies where you can practice your faith, another person practices his faith, and will respect one another. That's why in some of the moderate countries in the Middle East, like Dubai, Qatar, and a few others, you have tolerance for other faiths. I don't know where the St. Mary's Cathedral is now. They have tolerance, and they are the most developed countries. But where there is poverty, ignorance, and illiteracy, and the last thing I just spoke about, the unwillingness to learn and apply their brains, they suffer from amathia. That is, you can't establish Sharia in secular nations. You want to establish Sharia in all the states in Nigeria? No, it's not possible. You cannot. You cannot conquer the whole nation. It's too big. If the whole of Nigerian army is finding it difficult to conquer you ragtag army, think about conquering the whole of Nigeria. You don't reason, you don't think. And these people are ready to die for the establishment of this caliphate. That's why there is the violence. The money they are collecting, the minerals they are mining in Zamfara, in Sokoto, in different places, they think that they are pulling resources to buy armament to establish the caliphate. You lie. And I call on all other faiths and moderate Muslims, resist this rubbish. It's usually a deceptive ploy to have narcissists and psychopaths rule over people. The Hamas people in Gaza, their leaders were living in luxury in Qatar. The Iranian leadership, the Revolutionary Guards, their leaders are living in luxury. It's a deceptive form of Islam. They take a portion of the scriptures, their scriptures, and hold on to it, negate other ones that ameliorate them. I don't know if it is in the surah, but I know that Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto his name, instructed that the people of the book, referring to Christians, saved them in Abyssinia, present-day Ethiopia, when they were supposed to be eliminated. message was sent to the Christian king of Ethiopia. He said, if you give me all the gold in the world, I will not betray my visitors. And that's how Muslims were saved. Muhammad's followers, Prophet Muhammad's followers, peace be unto his name, were saved in Ethiopia. And some of them are still there in places like Aksum, in different places like Lalibela in Ethiopia. But these radical Islamic terrorists will not read that. So that is the motivating force. And he who loves freedom, who loves peaceful coexistence, who loves this nation and the secular state that we are in, and peace, must stand up and condemn these terrorists. Be you a Muslim or a Christian, it will blow no one any good. It's a vicious force. Remember the Taliban in Afghanistan. Remember ISIS. Remember Al-Qaeda. Remember Anwar Sadat. It's the same people that assassinated him. It's a terrible wind that we must stop. Those who have ears, let them hear. Those who have brains, let them listen. Don't suffer from amathia. Person dey vex, bro.